Until you get to understand the avalanche is falling. Then you admitting to falling out of love. It's not worth it. It was me, being loved. And you gave me hope. God, I tried. So I put the blame on you. Like before, I figured it would make me happy.
Good afternoon, everywhere you are. It's your girl, the lovely Everton, and let's talk about Africa's unity. I'm happy to be here. Everybody joining me here. Remembering that it's always about redefining Africans and we need to see in the world. And a lot has been happening here in regard or basically the conversation for the past few weeks. Right now, it's the fearlessness, right? Fighting for what's right, and we're seeing the relentlessness happening, which is a very beautiful thing. People thought the finance bill came to pass. It's very angered. They're very frustrated. And why do we have such a government? I will basically as to everything that is happening right now, and knows that if Africans are united, that's when will become a PowerPoint. And the fact that we see that the fact that there's a lot of division, we've always been going out to ask for money in regards to Africa's development or the minerals, the fact that developing other countries, that's when we'd be here in Africa because we have everything here. We do not need any type of help. That's what we need to understand. And I believe it's basically shocking a lot of people who are happening. Basically shocking a lot of countries because they've never seen anything who lost their life during this protest, which is that are seeing the government this generation being criminals and not it. The fact that they've been saying they're peaceful, there's a bunch of very peaceful protest or demonstration yesterday was not supposed to happen because they were very peaceful protesters. Nobody is funding this protest. Also, it's something the government of the people, and I believe the voice of the Dr. Ari kind of talked about this. A lot of people, or the people who in Africa, have slept on us, and this is a wake up call. And very enraged in regards to how who are in positions that they're not supposed to be in regards to developing the country, enraging the people, the relentless fearlessness that the youth, accountability in regards to anything that a leader, accountability. It's not a generation or what, I'm gonna do this, then to see evidence in regards to what you're saying. Be a part of this. Also, it's very, you can feel traumatizing in a way, honestly, because guys, in regards to the guys who were actually at the protest, shout out Money and Joby talks for going all the way there. And it's amazing because you have to, in a way, really, and also still it gives you the confidence to know what, and it's actually really happening. It's not just play a short video in regards to what Dr. Arikana in regards to how Africa has been. And she says when Africans have a common goal, when revolution and change is going to start. So basically, and talk about it here. But thank you so much, everybody. Time. The topic is Africa's unity. Remember, you are the changer. Africans as we redefine ourselves.
Committed to survive. Nonetheless, we're waking up. Let me say, we were put to sleep. We were awake. Now it's time that we wake up.
What's the damage that has been sustained because?
Let's go. And when it was finally just organized, we would then have the Africa that we have today. For Africa conference that was held from November of 1885. As you know, most people don't realize that going into Africa and just they started stealing, the British would steal from the French, and pretty soon they were fighting each other. So in his efforts to prevent it, he reached out to his sidekick, King Leopold. You know, Belgium, King Leopold was wreaking havoc not aware that over 75% of the Congolese population claimed Congo was his own.
We always are basically understand peaceful, united continent. The Europeans came and started colonizing Africa. Just nobody was fighting anybody. Nobody was trying to steal any selfishness or anything to do with taking peace. It was all about unity. It was all about love.
Country, he owned it individually, not say, hey, we got a problem here. Can we come together and see if we can these people? So that's really how Berlin Conference, countries that were making this mad rush into how they were looting the continent. Called for see to it that they organize themselves so they can and also make sure that the continent and its people.
Does the looting go on today?
It has put on different clothes. Now, there's something else they had traveled around the continent, found some of the most powerful kings in religious systems. I mean, the African people are just resisting the African spirit.
That's what she said. The African people are very. The Europeans occupied Africans. They went or countries right now because they know what they're still here, but in different clothing. We definitely understand
that if they continued the same way they were going, they would never defeat. The system of colonization and making the Africans bad and everything that was European, particularly. So the seed of divide and conquer was also, and they knew, just give it a generation or less, these people.
means that, or we've seen even since before, of greed, a lot of hate between each other, work with each other, but we want to support. I can say hatred or is it contest between each other because of divide and conquer is basically anything that is African is not good, but anything that is, then that's basically when all this started in regards to selfishness. Everybody wants to be powerful, and everybody wants to take everything for themselves. If you're in government, for you in regards to not benefiting the people who you're serving.
That's up into these small economies that really could never survive. Equatorial Guinea, Central African Republic, Malawi, Rwanda. And if they struggle and begin to do better on their own, they're very easy to destabilize.
Wow.
And that's so Berlin Conference, people don't realize that the Africans are forever defeated.
Of anything to do with Africa, but it was for the to be divided, fight against each other. Our economy, and for the people benefiting from it to be better off than us.
I said, I don't talk about the Berlin Conference. It was a long time ago. A country called Zimbabwe, a country called Central Africa. Berlin Conference is alive and well. Now to do 123, 24 years, nothing has changed. So how can they say Berlin? No, what's really sad and what should disgust the world was put in place 123 years ago, and it is still.
That's a long time, honestly, and it's still working up to now. The system is still working right now. That's a long time, guys.
Is when you look at what France did to 1988, when they were living quarter Francophone countries, two choices. You can be independent, with no affiliations to France. Well, France, goodbye, leave us alone. That's how we had. They went into those two countries, took everything that took the last cup, teaspoon, chair, and proceeded to completely devastating the two economies, simply because France. But what they, and also the Sékou Touré, he looked at the pact that France was. It was called.
It's amazing because it's reminding me of the fact that during the voting of the finance bill, like the confidence you could basically read from the reminding the president, you know what, they needed some to how they're going to get back their money, because by the end of the day, basically they had to write this in. It's basically evidence, like this is how you're going to get the fact that the bill has be leasing our land to the government. The government is going to be kind of it's to you. That makes it basically, if we're not able to pay back the money, why are you leasing your land to the government, and it's a land that you've bought title deed? And in that bill, they're saying that the time will not be a big deal. The deal will be going to be paid for the land. So the government is leasing your land to. Why would that happen? That's a big deal, because here actually is a big deal. It's like it's your property. It's something you own it. How does it that maybe if they're not able to pay this money back or sell our lands to these people?
He refused to sign it. Now we are sitting at 14 Francophone countries that are to this pact.
So in the 50, were they all colonized
Yes.
by different?
Countries went to France.
Yes.
Britain. We have, and those are the main ones. Yes.
The looting continues to this day?
To this day,
Tell me what the name is.
Well, the exploitation. Let me go back to the pact for the continuing. The Francophone countries were told because that you can sit at a table and eat with a fork and knife, you can roads, and told you about going to school. We're going to fee for that, and you need to pay for it. They were also told that language, and it must be your language of instruction in school. And then also your money. You'll keep them, you'll deposit them with the French. You'll take that money and invest it in the French stock market. What the returns are on your money. So collectively, packed their funds, the 85% of their bank reserve. French name.
Gotta hold that because we're talking with the ambassador who represents and Her Excellency is giving.
This basically reminds the Ford, or basically they were really tired of how the country in this time and age, there are definitely there, kind of like, I don't know if it's conjoined as to what they are mining. Also, I think the fact that the French, so the guys who are working at this mines were basically depositing it through the French bank, basically or France, definitely, let me say France. And the guys are really about everything to do with the French. They were really tired. I have a video in regards to it's kind of happening right now here in Kenya also. Okay, what happened in regards to that? Because anything to do with the French people, the flag, anything to do with them, or these people are coming to basically loot or basically and it's so heartbreaking because even if you basically watch, you could see them really, really, really hurting a country. But the French are coming here, paid peanuts, and we own these minerals, and they're really French. And you could see from the demonstration, basically did attack the French embassy. We also have a which I'm gonna play right away.
Mind you, leo ni the interesting sana. It's only necessary as a journalist. Wanasema ni the International Day Against Drug. Now, nimekusho Honorable Steve Mbogo conversation. Nilikuwa nachiki comment flani yesterday kwa socials.
Yes.
There's a guy who said you're good.
Yeah.
Maybe unaweza inua tu mic kiasi.
Okay.
Like, or use up hivi.
Talking about what really happened yesterday, and they're saying it was a very, very great, because we saw a lot of fearless young youths basically fighting.
Why are you even gonna give the second ladies? Do you how much billions are going to do? to NACADA? Why do you have to fund their offices, the spouse of the secretary? Funded for what? What value do they add to Kenyans? Today is the Brother Nuchali alikuwa na point. As a conversation starter, just
the world of today, people live in the information era. Hata wale wa kwenda shule, they understand simple economics. Simple economics.
Yeah.
And now, in a government, all these key institutions that are mandated to do those jobs. For me, or if you ask me, and I can support that young second lady who was doing it as an NGO program. Lakini serikali kusema ati sasa serikali itenge kiti be unconstitutional. That's the reality.
Yeah,
that's the reality. We have institutions that are in the constitution.
That's right.
Umenipata? The government should look at why is it not performing. The
fact that there's a lot of billions of money, millions, different offices, which people, Kenyans are basically supposed to do. Like, why that amount? The fact that there's some amount to the wife of the president in regards to fighting. And first of all, the person is really questioning the fact that maybe an ambassador for anything to do with drugs and all. Also questioning what is the function of NACADA. Money being allocated to that office, does he have organization? No. And that's how we see the frustration. A lot of money that in this bill is being allocated down and question, it doesn't really add up. Controversial draft bill. And also, guys are trying, if everything is being taxed and the model you're earning, why are you allocating 22 to different offices, but when this generation or the youth really want, they love accountability. The bill is not giving any explanation. Allocated to different offices. We didn't even know like there was an no. And the fact that there was also a confidential and we're not supposed to question that. It's very going to that confidential office or there, and you're supposed to question that. And that's why, because there's money coming in that has received, but it feels as, or basically the people in the government, and also the fact that not receiving the money, not because we want it, but as much as we can think of, they're benefiting from the money.
A different approach. Does it need proper brains to be put into it? Kila siku mtu anaamka na create yake.
That's what he's saying. Like nowhere there's an office for this that was not there the last time. Being this amount of money, and we're here. You can think of right now in your head is being taxed here. 2024.
Taxpayers, people. Let me tell you. Through is that this government is the third industrial revolution.
Yeah, the one.
Kuna vitu huwezi danganya watu. opportunity ya kuwa katika mfano. The easiest was serikali ya Moi. The government will dictate what will be said in TV, written in the papers. Today, with the information era, you cannot. What we were taught in schools and in the churches, because at that time, just factions. Leo hawatambui mambo ya chama na politics, hawatambui mambo ya tribes. So whatever the young man was saying, he has a value running that program.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's saying that the fact that the beautiful thing about it, it's not being in regards to religion, in regards to which county or region you, and common goal affecting the individual. It's a very amazing and beautiful thing to see, because it's not anything else. It's just about the finance bill. That
basis. Lakini isiwe ni constitution. So inamaanisha charity ya pets mwingine ya kuwe. You know, no.
Very important day for Kenyans. Very historical. Mazeina dhani hata tutawai thing like this. The 25th day, sorry. Norma kabisa. People, Kenyans, young Kenyans, the old, the young, occupy parliament, bro. Wase walienda pale wakadish. You know, as much as police officers are also killing young Kenyans.
I'll be very honest with you, because we didn't expect ifike hapo. And when I'm saying serikali ikubali ifike hapo, of resolving this issue for Tuesday.
Yeah. This is something we're talking about with actually money on the to see how far or what this protest, and it's a shock to go, and it's not a joke anymore. It's real. It's happening. I hope they're not testing the waters, because they can
the will of the people and what this movement are saying. For them, they are very simple. They want this bill rejected. When you look at, I have facts. Any Kenyan has facts why the bill is not good. Lakini bado kuna vitu mingi pale ndani ambazo I didn't see a difficulty in the president.
Right.
I still don't see
even a little will to basically youth are basically voicing out was not there. Volker says right now that the youth really wanted the finance bill, say no to it, not amending, because Parliament listening there the day, and it's some of the things to be changed in. You have to have high factual points in regards to what the draft of the bill should be changed, and some were amended, because these are a lot of, that's like almost basically finished reading it. It's a lot, and it's just because it's giving you the fact that go back to section I, honestly, and they just have to change a lot of start from scratch, because it doesn't.
Babu anaweza jiridim pia.
True.
MPs wanaweza na airudishe, because Kenyans, you're targeting to raise a certain amount, 400 billion, using that finance bill. Already did not even meet the target. We had a shortfall of about 300 tax people, but it reaches a point where you cannot tax me anymore. But when you dig deeper na utake kuelewa, kiongea for months and months tukiwa na wewe hapa, nikakuwa has it, and even ministers now are speaking, people who are, these bills and these budgets are being drawn by the IMF and the World Bank.
It's what Kate has been telling us. People who are deep into this, they're basically saying it's being drafted. It was drafted by IMF and all this.
So we are letting people into.
Because Dr. Chihombori right now talked about this. But it's still, but they're here in different clothing and they're taking over basically confidently. And we can see that right now. Makes me want to play that video in regards to what you're saying, in regards to what this guy said, drafted by the IMF and the World Bank. Is really asking the question, what are the three needs? But let's listen in. Boom. By Keith. I don't think he's really proud. He has some African genes in him. I believe it's gonna continue the rest of the country. And Chihumbori says, one continent, one voice. Definitely. in the mind. The healing starts in the adults start uniting and understand that the seed in conference, everything that was discussed there is basically happening because fighting against each other, we're hating on each other, but see Kenyans coming together with one common goal to really see, because I remember or before that there was a lot of tribalism. It was about tribes mostly. It was about, which we don't see with this generation. It's not about where you come from, tribe you are in, or what tribe you are, for basically change. Because as I always say, maybe the finance bill happened so that we can, in regards to understanding who we are, understanding the power we have as Africans. Maybe it will, and people are basically awakening and they're basically understanding, and it's the fight for their country, the fight for a better government generation. And would you want your generation or in such a government to be in such, whatever you need to voice out in such an educational, I'm like, I don't think I would want this for any, not about the things we're supposed to know about. Hey, nothing like that. But we're being taught everything before colonization. And I believe as to the refinance bill, it had to be a wake
Debts.
Yeah.
Remember, he who feeds you controls you. Ukiangalia rais, si ati hayuko Kenya. But why is he insisting that this thing has to pass? So, ambaye inamsukuma.
Yeah.
Most of the recommendations to cut on education, to cut on health, nikakwambia mfano kama education. Example, high school education by about education and the capitation by about 22%. Special primary, they're cutting by about 5%. So cutting on health. They're cutting on the fundamental
important to us as African. Everything Walker says, there's an increase to 18 increase in regards to payments. Why? Because to be better in terms of health, in terms of education,
infrastructures ambazo zina drive nchi. And can straight and say, you cannot now come and tax me on dentistry, cancer patients, mambo ya MRI. Cry. How many Kenyans can even afford those services?
Very.
Now, back and tell you, we are seeing these bills you're implementing. And I told you, biggest agenda is to take over land in this country.
Yeah. We own nothing.
Come and
nothing to say literally. As a land taxation, how I never had, and the fact that the government is gonna, and you have a title deed, it says it will, the government will be leasing your land to you. They'll basically sell the land. They'll own the land.
amendments and give powers, remove powers from minister. When you come and define and say or neighborhoods of markets or towns, and annual levy on freehold property, we know where you're heading to. Town or a market is defined as an area that holds 2,000 citizens. Every next Dagoretti hapa Mombasa Road, iko na watu 2,000. So that means it's telling us that you want all freehold land type.
Alikuwa anasema, great economist alisema, the IMF doesn't put out
Where the Americans have gone and there is peace.
exactly, Mazi. So again, they're out there in different quarters. Someone against the system here, the Kenyan system, but against imperialism. The way our country is being run.
It's a very big fight, and I'm glad Kenyans are labeling us as conspiracy.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, but now I'm glad Kenyans are now seeing it. And they're not. Even when the bill is being debated in Parliament, they come and to approve.
I saw the comments on social media. There was that picture circulate of the Imperial Congress of the Empire of the monitoring
who will say yes or no.
It's like
That photo really, I was so upset. Literally, for me, it was really the audacity in your parliament, like the audacity thing. You have to do what we've told you to do, regardless.
they are our slave masters.
No,
whatever.
they came to rubber. Who gave them that right? Did they have a conversation with us as Kenyans? If they had that conversation solely with the president, that is their agreement. I say it again and again. Going forward, inchi where we've reached, we need. He should ask us, all of us Kenyans, all of us. See, mambo anatuambia pub. Have you ever participated in a public participation? I've never met a Kenyan who's participated. Are you getting it?
I think there's a time Shimani was asking that. The fact that 20 or 80% of people have agreed to this bill. These questions, where do they get these numbers? Have agreed to the.
So these are fundamental debts. Few people decide how much should be borrowed. They are going to borrow and how much, what are the collaterals. Let me tell you, there is no one who will give you money for free.
Also having that conversation, and Shimani was basically saying that nothing, even if I'm going to give you 100K right now, and I'm like, I'm going to come back to you and be like, I think you need to do this. You 5 months ago. Yeah, so we're almost winding up right now here on Let. See the likes of Steve, how Africans are woke, the fact that the IMF is behind the likes of Dr. Arikana Chihomboy, always talking what's happening, the power Africa has in regards to, and the fact that we should be awake and take our place, because it's been amazing here. I'm going to play like a 2-minute video again show in regards to the Black Hawk fire. Ready?
You remember what happened in Sri Lanka?
Absolutely.
They went funded projects that could not function. The economy collapsed because they could not pay the debt. It was an uprising. At the end of the day, paka president anatoka mbio, people might situation here. Look at the situation, for example. Joke, just a matter of cost of living. Today, even the former has not seen peace. We don't want Kenya to go that route.
What's the worst? Entirety.
I personally cannot see how Kenyans are agitated. You know, they went there yesterday. Even me, I was shocked.
Burn down a section.
I believe in constitutionalism. We should not allow ourselves to fall into that trap.
Has been it. Stephen Bogo says, as Kenyans, we should not allow ourselves. That's what he says in regard basically our the country might. It's always been peaceful. The protest has always been peaceful. Tomorrow here in the 254, that has been it with Chan, and the topic of the day has been Africa's unique change you need to see in the world. Thank you for joining me here. Or you can download our app on Google Store and always stream live at blackcloudfirenetwork.com. Remember, you are the world.
Reaching out to all the massive down. Greetings and salutations, Matthew Andrew Robinson. All tuning into the Black Hot Fire